Cameraman Grades, cameramangrades.com. How to film football training and professional consultations for camera operators, video coordinators, and sports video professionals at all levels. Find us at cameramangrades.com or contact us directly at cameramangrades@gmail.com to improve your team's coaching video. Currently looking for the best camera operator of the 2025 NFL season? These are the best of the best, and we are putting it to the test. Today we are looking at the Chicago Bears Week 10 versus the New York Giants. Welcoming the Chicago Bears to Indiana for the 2026 season. Let's just jump right into it. Snow coming down. Awesome. And out of bounds. Flag is up. There you go. All right. Great job. Excellent framing throughout there. Okay. Awesome framing. Perfect zoom out. Top to bottom. Had to keep everybody in the shot. That was perfect. Okay. This snow could get interesting in this game. Let's see what happens. Oh, awesome. Okay. Right off the bat, let's just look here. Within 5 yards, both directions, getting tighter. Okay. And then, okay, they're going into routes, so people are going to start backing up. Have they yet? Not really. Okay. Everybody's still contained in this frame, which is fantastic. And they're keeping it right there, still within 5 yards. That now switches. This receiver takes that spot and the safety steps up. So look at that. Man, that is great. All 22 still in the shot. That's still the quarterback. That's still the receiver. Man, oh man. All right, let's do that the whole game. Great start. Okay, pass again. There it is. Oh! Oh! Almost got picked off. Fantastic framing, top to bottom, keeping everybody in the shot. Again, not a whole lot of zoom out needed on that play, and they're keeping it tight. And there's the run. Cool. All right, is this going to be a run? I mean, unless quarterback's keeping it or handing it off to this guy coming across. There you go. Okay, anticipate. Anticipate what's going to happen based on what you're seeing on the field, and then respond accordingly. All right, this is 4th and 4. They've got to have 4 yards here. That's going to be a pass. Nobody in the backfield. Scrambling. Scrambling out, and the throw to the end zone. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. All right. I mean, every bit of this, anywhere in this, anywhere. You know, just pick a spot, right? Let's pick here. Fantastic. How about here? Amazing. How about here? I'm running out of words. I'm running out of amazing, awesome, fantastic words. Those are my 3 go-tos. That's all I got. Okay, this is all really good throughout that entire play. Wow, what a start. Okay. All right, little shift before the play. That's going to change your framing, which they do. Look at that. Frame it up. And the handoff. Okay. Again, you know, just kind of anticipating what's going to happen. You get a tight set here. You got a back in the backfield. It's the first play for this offense. A lot of times they stay on the ground just to, you know, get started. They've got a script in mind. Some offenses will start running play action, which you're not really running play action off of anything because you haven't run anything yet, right? So they run to establish the play action when the time comes. They try to catch people off guard on the first play because most defense 99% of the time are just expecting a run on the very first play of the game. But you can see here, if you're expecting the run and you're seeing the run, there's really no reason to zoom out. You just keep it right there. Right? Zooming out, you're gaining space behind this safety that didn't need to happen. Okay? And you're changing the perspective for the people watching, which, you know, makes it that much more difficult to watch. But since they did such a great job of framing it up to start, even zooming out a little bit farther than necessary wasn't detrimental to the shot. Okay? This was fantastic all the way through. All right. Okay, got a receiver at the top, receiver at the bottom. Run coming this direction, and then go find the ball. What a start. Let's go. And the snow keeps coming down. Awesome. And some altercation taking place on the right side of that play at the very end. All right. Spread formation. Running back is being used as a blocker, and fantastic. And it's looking really good to start this game. Okay, this is 4th and 2. All right, we've had 2 4th down attempts already in this game. These teams want it. We want the ball. We want to keep the ball. We want to go score. Defenses say otherwise. Let's go. Bears take over on the other side of the 50, which is a great place to start. Okay, what can they do with it? I mean, their filmer knows exactly what to do with it every step of the way. This is all so good. Dang. I see you, Chi-Town. Let's go, man. This is so good. Wow. Okay. So, what are we zooming out for? Okay. It's a run. Going the other opposite way, right? Clearly. You're probably watching your offense practice this play all throughout the week. You know, this is a little counterintuitive, going the opposite direction of your running back. Normally, your quarterback would follow your back and come this way. For some reason, he saw numbers going that direction that looked good, so he went for it. Right? There it is. All right. So the question just becomes, you know, did you need to zoom out? And can you just recognize that a run going away from you is going to, you know, your perspective shift is going to make things smaller. You're going to have to zoom in for it. Doing a really great job of keeping up with passing routes going down the field. Nothing out of the ordinary. Probably, you know, the play that you see most often in passing is going to look very similar to that. Okay, you got 2 backs in the backfield. Oh, he's coming back this way. A lot of times, if there is a back in the backfield that comes over and takes the tight end spot, they're running that direction because they have an extra blocker that way. So, and that's what happens. Okay. All right. Really tight setups, really tight framing. Pitch going that way? Nope, it's a rollout coming this way, right? And you saw it, right? Just clear as day. Is it a pitch? Not even close, right? He fakes it, whoop, but he's holding on to it and pulling it back and coming this way, right? And so how tight can you stay on this? This is getting a little wide, but, you know, to keep everybody in the shot, going sideline to sideline, there's still guys at the top of the frame. It works, okay? Yep. Straight ahead. Okay? But if he wasn't going to go straight ahead, there's a somebody coming around this way as like an end around, And you do have the option of fake the handoff to the running back, end around coming this way, and then the quarterback keeps it and goes that way. You always have those three options, and then you have, the simple fact of just turning around and passing. So all of that can take place here, but you can see clearly that the handoff took place, and all the defense is responding to the back with the ball, and they keep it nice and tight through there. No zooming out, no extraneous movements, and no knee-jerk response to the fact that there's the end around or the possible quarterback rollout. Okay? Wait to see what happens and then react. Anticipate and then respond to exactly what you expected to have happen, right? There's drop back, throw. Okay, keeping everybody in the shot. And this is all looking really good. Very strong start for the Bears. And we got two back set. I straight ahead. Yep. Boom. Okay. Am I going to zoom out to the crowd on that play? No, not even close. I see that there's two backs back there. I figure it's going to be a lead play. You got a lead blocker. Okay. You're just expecting that they're going to use the resources that they put on the field for that play. It could be play action, but the tendencies are not there in that case, because look at the result. They just punched it in the end zone because they had a lead blocker and they had a fantastic back, and they called the right play call, right? So why would you deviate from that, right? If nobody can stop that, run that play every time. Is the coach's mentality, right? So if we can just recognize that and stay in there and make sure that we're showing them exactly that and nothing else, that's perfect. And look at all the perfect going straight down the line here. It's all really good. Safety was right on the edge, within 5 yards behind the quarterback on that side. Okay, we got a little more space on the quarterback side this time, and they use it really well. Space does shift to the other side of the safety, but still limiting the amount of zooming that they did on that to make sure they kept everybody in the shot and nothing else. Okay, punting, you got a lot of space behind the punter, cut it down. Nothing's going to happen back there. Really wide here, but keeping everybody in the frame and then going in and finding the ball. Okay, you can probably keep it a little tighter than that just by cutting out a couple guys on the backside that probably aren't going to be involved all that much at that point, right? If they're going to get involved, they're going to have to get down to where the ball is and get involved, right? If they're going to be 60 yards behind the play, at some point you go and focus on the people that are directly around the ball. All right, great. 5 yards total. And then going tighter. I like it. Yes. Looking good. Tight, tight, tight. Perfect. Pass. Nice move, dude. All right. So, awesome move. You can't get focused on staring at how awesome this was while dropping this guy out the backside here, right? This was great, right? But you still need to keep that guy in the shot, right? And you've got space, right? You're keeping space behind the quarterback. And can we keep that safety in the shot throughout the entire play is going to be the main focus there. Yes. Handoff. Okay. Last play, they fake the handoff and let the quarterback keep it. This time, they handed it off, right? Do you expect the quarterback to do the same play 2 plays in a row? They can. Tendencies are that coaches like to change it up a bit, right? Coaches will look at what is the breakdown between run pass, right? They want to not show any tendencies that they're going to be passing over and over and over again, unless you're the teams I've worked for, and they just committed 100% to the pass. But most coaches are probably going to try to be 50-50, so to make it a coin toss for the defense, so that they can't really key in on anything that they're trying to do on any given play. This is so good. I mean, look at that, right? I just paused it within 5 yards, within 3 yards, but throughout this play, this safety is right here. Okay, I'm just gonna move my mouse back and forth right here along this edge. Yep. Look at that. All right, and then what's on this side? Quarterback, running back, quarterback. Yep. A little bit of space. There's a guy there now. Amazing. So good. Okay, got space behind the quarterback. How much space we got? About 11 yards. If you were to put the edge of the frame right here on this back as he vacates, the quarterback's going to drop back to right about here. I'm going to say the 11. All right. So let's just see where the quarterback drops back to. The 11. How do I know these things? I mean, I've just lined up frames, with right on the backside of the receiver before, and it worked out perfectly, right? And if the quarterback decides to take a deep drop and then roll out this way, you accommodate for that on the fly. But 99% of the time, you're just going to see a straight drop back. Okay. Right there. Okay. This is still within 10 yards. Within 10 yards here, within 10 yards here. It's pretty good. I've seen them be tighter on previous plays, and a lot of it just comes down to how much space he had at the start of the play. Okay, let's see the difference here. This is, if we go 2/3, right? Here's the ball here, and here's the 2/3 line, so you can bump this entire line back, right? But they're going to shift. So what happens when they shift? Oh, this filmer's on it, so ready for it, right? And then getting a tighter frame, leaving space because they're probably expecting the safety to come over and fill that in. Yep. And this safety is going to drop back. Yep. And this guy is going to keep the ball. Yep. And right there, we're in perfect framing. Okay. We got a little more than 5 yards on the back side of the safety. But I'd rather have space on this side than this side, and that makes sense. And then there's the pass away, and it's to the farthest man, right? It's the long pass. So, wow! It looks so good. I don't know what the height of Soldier Field is, but they're way up there, right? And let's just celebrate, what Soldier Field is and how awesome it has been for the Bears for all these years. This is an amazing bit of footage to have in this snow game here, week 10 of 2025, to see how well the filmer got all of this footage for his team, right? In what will go down as a momentous year for the Bears. Oh, cool. Okay, fakes the pitch going that direction, and the fake is there, and then he's coming back this way. You see it. Got a guy throwing a block down here, a guy throwing a block up here. Okay, you can really just kind of keep it right there. You don't have to zoom out any further. They do still, but you can just kind of limit it once you see that. All right. Special teams. All right, there's a lot of movement in here. There's no reason for it. You don't have to zoom out. If you got the perfect framing to start, there's nothing happening. There's nothing to zoom out to, except for grass, right? Let's just throw it in the box just to see where we're at. We zoomed out to be here. Why? Okay. At the start of the play, we're here, right? Just, just leave it there. No reason to make any adjustment on that. All right. Not bad. It's usable. Kicks away, kicks up, kick is good. Blockers all did their job there, so great work. All right, let's go. Okay, fantastic. Where did the ball land? It hit right. Let's back this up. Right here. Okay, and I saw it, right? Got the kicker on the side. Ball bounced right there. I can measure that exact distance at this point. I don't like keeping the kicker in the shot. I'd rather have him here just to be able to see more detail. But some coaches are asking for it, and if the filmer's delivering on that, that was perfect. Okay. But I mean, to be able to see where the ball lands when it's almost to the goalpost is fantastic. We don't want them to even think about running this back, right? We want them to give up the idea of a run back immediately. Oh my goodness. Look at this. This receiver's right on the edge. Right there. Right here. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Right there. Okay. How about on this side? Right, quarterback. Right there. Got a defensive end looping behind him. Right there. It's all right there. I saw it all. I saw it all because the filmer is so dialed in throughout this entire game. And the snow has let up. Okay. Interesting. Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Good teams have good film, right? I can see that the Bears were able to use this video week after week after week, day after day after day, play after play after play, and improve and get better and see what they're doing and see what they're doing well and replicate that over and over and over and over again throughout all of 2025. And you can see it. Okay, this one's out a little wider, right? You got top to bottom. There's a little bit of space here at the bottom, but if you can tighten that up, that's great. But it's still very, very usable footage for your team, right? This is just a little bit wider. If we were to put it in the box just to check it, yep, to go top to bottom, here to here, right? There's a guy here. There's a guy here. They don't go any higher than the top of the chains. Not even close, right? They stop. And that's fantastic. All right. And then if you measure this, you're almost to 90%. 85%. Right? 85 for the Bears, right? I like it. All right. It's really good. 4th and 8. Perfect. It's awesome. All right. This all looks really good. Just play after play after play. I feel like this filmer for the Bears showed up in week 10 and was like, I'm just going to nail it every time. There's nothing stopping me from getting every single play spot on perfect. You know, is anybody perfect every play, every game? No. There's always room to improve. But you can see the mentality. You can see that they showed up ready for it. Okay, 2/3 would go a long way here, just shifting over a little bit. But what they did with it was really, really good. Okay. Your safety hit the edge on the right side. Quarterback filled the edge very well right here. But you got a safety just half of his body, right? Still in the shot, but I'd love to see all of him. Okay. Yeah. Oh, flea flicker. Okay. Let's just go back to the point where this changes from a run to a pass, right? They stop their zoom because it's a run, right? They're zooming out. Nope, it's a run. No, they stop, okay? And then guess what? It's not a run, it's a pass, right? And they're staying up with this receiver going long, and then they've got it tight to the back of the quarterback. You can't do this any better than this. Look at that. He's still right there within 5 yards, both directions. Right? That totally makes sense. That looks so good. Pass. Okay. Looks good. 3rd and 11. Okay, it's a passing down. Passing situation. Passing formation. Nope, he's running. Holy smokes. Look at that. Alright. Let's see. What do they do expecting pass? Zooming out a little bit, just barely, and then recognizing the run right away and coming in for it. Okay. Great job. Within 5 yards, both directions. Run play. Okay. So there was a penalty. They didn't get the first down, so it's 4th and 1 here. Not handing it off on 4th and 1. Going over the top to the end zone. Ugh. So close. Alright. Filmer did a great job expecting that, seeing it all the way through, didn't get caught up in the play action or anything like that. Staying with the receivers as they're going downfield. Awesome. Okay, they dropped the quarterback out after the quarterback handed the ball off. So it was 21 guys throughout that entire play. Great setup. Pass. And scrambling and sliding. It's as good as it gets. Okay, 2/3 would help right here. Right? Because that space goes somewhere, nowhere, no play. Alright. Alright, 2/3. Let's cut that space down behind the quarterback, which they do. And the framing is nice and tight at this point. And that motion didn't really change much, so they didn't change just barely. Okay, a little bit of zoom out. A little extra quick on the zoom on that, but on the whole, very, very usable footage throughout this entire game so far. Yeah. Okay. Can you tighten it up? Yep, sure can. Is it really usable footage for your offense to be able to determine what they can do better and what they're doing well? Yes. 4th and 2. Gotta have it. Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow. Okay. Recognizing that there's a run coming your direction, they stopped their zoom. Didn't need to zoom out with anybody at that point. Lead blocker. Nope, pass. Okay. And you saw it right away. You saw that the quarterback's in no hurry to hand this ball off. He kind of token fakes it. Doop. Right? Just a little boop. And then now he's going back the other direction. All right? And you can see that in real time as it happens. Just recognizing that same play over and over again that you're seeing through the week during practice, and then seeing it in a game and seeing this formation. Be like, okay, I've seen this in practice. What do they run out of this? That, and then this. They probably have practiced that play 15 times this week, or 15 times in the last 2 weeks, to be able to see that. Okay. Awesome. All right. That works. Fourth and 4, going for it again. They do not want to hand the ball over to the other team. Either of these teams. They want to keep it. Okay. This filmer is just staying on top of all of it. Alright. Pause. 2/3. Pretty close. And there. Now. Right there. Spot on. Right. Okay. And again, right there. Okay. Good job. All right. Interesting. All right. So, that 2/3, why is it important? Okay, they're right there at the 2/3 mark, right? And then where does the quarterback go? He fills that frame perfectly. Look at that. Okay, exactly that amount of space was needed for this. And now we don't have to really zoom out until we get to this point, right? We've got guys running down the field. That's fine. They're there. I see them. Yep, I see that guy. I see the safety. Yep, Yep. Everybody's there. There's been almost no zooming taking place in this entire play. They started at the bottom corner here at the 40, all right? And it's at the 40. Now it's at the, what, 42? All right, now they get to the 45, right? But we're, how many seconds into this play since the snap? You can count it. 1, 2, 3. It took 3 seconds for them to get to zoom out 5 yards, right? And that is because everybody's already still in the shot. They're already almost sideline to sideline because the spread formation. So let's just see what happens. Let's let the quarterback fill into that frame without adding any more space behind him. They didn't. Let's let this receiver run into this frame without adding any more space behind the safety. They didn't. And now that we're into the play and people are actually starting to run beyond the 40 and the 45 and they're back to the 30 now, then that makes sense to zoom out with it. And they do. Yeah, do that. Wow. Great play. And almost identical situation, on that play for the filmer, right? From the filmer's perspective, that's, the exact same play, run the exact same way, in the exact same part of the field, and they treated it exactly the same as the play before, and it worked exactly as they expected. As did that one. As will this one, right? They're anticipating what's happening here very, very well. Oh, no. Oh, no. What happened here? He's got this. He's got the ball. And now he doesn't. And now he's got it. Nobody's got it. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was a pick. Okay, I thought that was a really bad pass to the back corner of the end zone. Normally you want to throw it where only your guy can get it, right? They put it, yeah. Receiver cut off his route. He looks like he's going to wrap it around. And then he stops and goes back to the front. A little bit of miscommunication there, but I saw all of it. The coaches are going to see it. They're going to say, what can we do to make sure that never happens again? Right? Okay, right there. And they can have that discussion based off of this video, because absolutely everything is here. And nothing else. I didn't see any crowd. Didn't see the photographers on the sidelines. I wasn't really looking. There was definitely, you had to zoom out to a certain point. I was more focused on how close are we to this, action on the field, and did we get a chance to see every last bit of it? And absolutely that was the case. All right, last time they zoomed out on this, they're zooming out again. Okay, so if you can just set it up, line it up, let it sit right where it's at. Okay, it goes a long way in just allowing everybody to just watch without the filmer adding any movement to the screen. All right, didn't land in the landing zone. But what they did there was great. This is get us to the halftime, kneeling on it, perfect framing on that. Third quarter. Kicking off the second half. Great. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Anticipating what's going to happen. Well, it's pretty straightforward. When the guy catches the ball, he's going to run this direction, right? Anticipate and respond. Did he do that? Oh, he's already coming in. Oh, we know he's coming in. We know he's coming in hot. Okay? He's got within 10 yards behind the back side of the play at this point. And now he stopped zooming in and started moving this direction. Okay? So many times I see people like struggle to catch up with this back. He's here before they actually start to zoom in at all, and you see all this space for no reason. And this filmer is like, no, I know he's coming forward. Okay, I know where he's going. Question is, can he get through that mass of people and get to the end zone on the other side? Yeah, it's possible. He definitely can. And he's going to see how on Monday after a Sunday game. He's going to be able to watch this film. Awesome. This is so good. Okay, straight ahead run. A little bit of zoom out. Not bad. Recognized it right away. 3rd and 5. Pass. Midfield. Pass. 5 yards. Pass. Okay. Got some space. Oh, they didn't catch it. Bobbled it at the sideline. Oh no. They want that 5-yard out for a first down. A little bit of space behind the safety here, right? And then just recognizing that this is the play, right? Are they running long routes? No. Is anybody, go route to the end zone? No. So this is the frame. You can recognize the passing routes exactly the same as recognizing the run straight ahead, right? All right. Oh no, he did get the first down out of that. Okay, it looked like the referee was saying no catch. All right, cool. Awesome. Great job. Man. Yes. Mm. Wow, wow, wow. Looking really good. Wow. Oh, man. Yo. Alright, they gotta zoom out, right? This is a spread formation. This is 4 wide. You got one single back in the backfield. Alright, they've got to zoom out with this receiver because he's going to start pressing this edge. He's going to start pressing this edge. Watch how far they zoom out. Exactly that much. To exactly right there. And then they start to zoom back in because it's a run going the other direction, and they have to zoom back in to keep the detail. And yeah. Oh, goodness. I mean, I don't even have words for that one. I love it. Okay. Gives me chills to see it because, like, it was so measured and perfect. Okay. So many times I see people, right at the snap of the ball, they just zoom out. Or, oh, there's receivers running, I'm going to zoom out. And I'm going to show, in zooming out, I'm going to show all this, right? And I'm just going to zoom out to here. And then, because you can see everybody, it works. So everybody can just, figure it out on Monday. No, they didn't do that, right? Again, keeping up with this returner, right? I always like to drop the kicker, but for what they're doing here, they're really, really, really on top of this. Immediate run recognition. They were zooming out, right? And they didn't really need to, but they recognized it right away. Hey, I'm going the opposite direction. They're running it straight forward. All the defense is condensing on the ball carrier. I need to condense as well. If you're expanding while the defense is contracting, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. 3rd and 4. You know, on your side of the ball, on your side of the 50, what are you going to do? Quick drop back, scramble around. You got a quarterback that can make plays, and he does. Yeah, let's go. Sweet. All right, zooming out to make sure you keep everybody in the shot within 10 yards, both sides. Okay, they're very measured about it. All right, can it be tighter? Yeah, but you know, they saw everybody. That works. Lining up. Handoff. Nope. Keeping it. And the long ball. Okay. Sweet. Wow. So good. That was all so good. Pass. Yep. Okay. Within 10 yards behind the quarterback, you can cut that down. Right, they're zooming out to gain extra space back here. That doesn't really help. They had a good frame here, right about. Right, this is good within 5 yards. And then quarterback, does he drop back beyond 5 yards? No. Do you have to zoom out with anybody? Well, this guy's going to the top of the frame, which makes sense to zoom out. But if you can keep this tight and then give that space to this side, you're going to preserve a lot of that detail. Okay, empty. Nobody back there. Got 4 wide to one side. Okay, within 10 yards behind the quarterback. Tight, really tight on the safety side. It looks good. 4th and 5, you can cut that space behind the punter. Nothing's going to happen back there, ever. And they do, right there, kind of. They're keeping a lot of space back there. So, oh, and where'd the ball go? I don't know. Okay, so here, punts away, we still see to the 20. Okay, the punter's kicking the ball at the 30, 31, and we still see the 20. We zoomed out to see the 20 again, and we're still seeing to the 24. And where's the ball? Where's the ball landing? Okay, this guy obviously is being deceptive. If you're reading off of him and thinking that he's going to catch the ball, and not seeing that the ball's going farther over his head, you know, to the end zone, that's completely understandable. But all I'm saying is the easy fix to see more of this side is to see less of this side. And, you know, really, I mean, dropping the punter completely and getting over there to see it would make sense once the punt's away, right? Punt's away, there's nobody, you know, making contact with him at this point. Ball's away, go ahead and cut him out, start to move down the field with these guys as they're throwing blocks. You know, now we're going to the 35, now we're to the 40, you know, move the frame this direction and see more of where the ball is. Because guess what? As a punter, does he rather see himself running behind the play, or would he rather see where that ball, exactly where that ball came down and where it bounced to from there? Because the punters want to know what kind of spin they had on the ball. Was it, you know, going end over end? Was it spiraling? You know, I don't know how to really, you know, make that happen on the screen with the cursor, but you know, to see it, to actually see it and see which direction it goes, it looks like it's like down inside the 1 out of bounds, like the best punt ever. Or did it actually go into the end zone? Okay. Yeah, it actually was a touchback. So right there, I want to see it, right? And the punters want to see it. Is there anything that they could have done to change that up so that it was inside the 1 instead of, you know, into the end zone, right? And I couldn't see it. I had to guess of what happened, and I guessed wrong, and that's fine. I'm wrong all the time, right? But I am anticipating what could happen on any given play, and that makes all the difference, right? And you can see that this filmer is anticipating what's going to happen on these plays and is ready for absolutely everything. Framing up, okay, Possible run straight ahead, most likely a pass. Roll out. There you go. All right. Awesome. That works. All right, let's just check. 2/3. Okay, you can benefit from moving the offense, moving the left side of this frame closer to the offense here. Okay, and by doing so, you wouldn't have to zoom out at all, right? Because you're almost sideline to sideline as it is, unless people are really pressing, the corners. Not the corners, the edge of the frame, right? The sidelines. And you can see this receiver is coming in, so that actually condenses everything down. Makes it easier for you. You don't have to zoom out with anybody, right? If you can just recognize it early on and respond to it as needed. All right. Fourth and 1, going for it. Keep. Roll out, keep. That works. Roll out coming your direction. For some reason, that play was always my favorite filming football games. It just seemed to work. Wherever my framing was on the backside, the quarterback can just fit right in that framing, and I'm looking down the field, and the quarterback can throw down the field or he can keep it, right? And I can see everything because it's coming right to me. I can see what he's doing, and I can see exactly where he's at on that side of the frame. Okay, got about 8 yards behind the quarterback. 7. Never used, right? Never even came close to using that 7 yards. Right, you can cut it down, expecting that he's not going to drop back that far, and then because of that, you wouldn't have to zoom out as much as you do. It's a very slow, gradual zoom out, which is great. If you're going to do it, that really works. It's very easy to watch in doing that. Okay. They can't all be that slow. Sometimes the receivers are getting depth very quickly. Yep. Oh my. Ball, 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 ball. Bears ball. Bears ball. Yep. Sweet. Alright. Saw it. I saw the moment when the ball popped out of his hands. Saw a spider cam going across the screen there. Alright. Straight ahead run. You got a lead blocker. Nope. Lead blocker went one way. Back went the other way. Doesn't matter because the quarterback didn't give it to either of them, right? So, great job. Saw it. Anticipate what's going to happen here. 1st and 10, you got a single back in the backfield. Is he going to follow that lead blocker? Yep. Okay. If he does, you're ready for it. If the quarterback keeps it, you can respond accordingly at that time, right? That's an option. That the quarterback can keep the ball. So go ahead and keep him in the frame. Make sure he's still got the ball like this. Oop, oh my goodness. So good. So good. And the snow is back in full effect, right? Somebody adjust the rabbit ears antenna on this. All right, perfect. Old TVs used to get all this static on channels if your antenna wasn't just perfect. And it looked a lot like this, right? You weren't quite sure if it was snowing on the field or if this is just the signal that you got. All right, perfect. Looking really good, Bears. Perfect framing. Keep. Long ball. Oh! Okay. I've just been saying every step along the way that this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is pretty good. And right here you got this guy in the corner. Got a guy at the top of the frame. You got a guy back here. Can you tighten this up a little bit? Barely. You know, imperceptibly, yes. It's really good. And not a whole lot of movement to make that happen, right? It all fit. So pointing at the frame, you're pointing the camera at the ground, at the field, and that's where the players are, and then you stay with the players on the field. It seems simple when you just say it out loud like that, but it's a challenge. I can see with great detail that this snap almost goes over this quarterback's head, and kudos to the quarterback for one hand snagging it out of the air. Okay. Extra reps for the center this week, right? So we could see exactly what needs to happen because of what happened on the field. And because the filmer showed us exactly what happened on the field. Okay, that works. For as great of a job as this filmer has done at keeping everything, as little movement as possible, that last play had a little extra movements, right? A little bit of back and forth that wasn't necessary. Not this one, right? Snap of the ball, a little bit of zoom out to make sure they keep up with this guy going to the top of the frame. This guy's still at the bottom of the frame. Okay, if you start and you know that if he goes to the top corner of the end zone, you're going to cut him out because you can't see the top corner of the end zone. And guess what? Watch what happens at the snap of the ball. He's going to the corner of the end zone. You got to get out with him, right? Anticipate and respond. Oh, and he would have gotten there, right? Had he gotten there, the quarterback was throwing exactly there, right? To the end zone, to the back corner. And we know that we can't see it, and we know that he's going there, and we know that there's a tendency. I used to work for a team that if you got inside the 20-yard line, the very first next play was going to be to the corner of the end zone. Every single time. And it was like a 50-50 shot. We were going to score a touchdown, or it was going to be an incomplete pass, and it's going to be second down. And I'm fine with those odds, right? And so are they. Like, hey, if we get inside the red zone as soon as we cross the 20-yard line, we're throwing to the back corner of the end zone. And if that's your team's tendency, you get inside that situation, and you know that your team's going to the corner of the end zone, be prepared for it and be ready to zoom out. And that filmer knew it was coming. Saw it. See what they know is happening here. Quick pass to the far side. Okay, a little bit of play action this direction. Flag at the top of the frame. I saw absolutely every inch of that, right? With no extraneous movements. And we're backing it up, right? 1st and 20, what do you run on 1st and 20? Well, run straight ahead, I guess. More flags, backing them up again, or moving them forward. I don't know what's going to happen here. Yep, they moved them forward. Okay, 4th quarter. All right, the third first down in a row. This is 1st and 10 again. Yeah, zooming out a little bit more than necessary, but that works. Roll out. your direction. You see every inch of it, sideline to sideline, top to bottom. Okay, again, when the quarterback rolls out this way, you can see it, right? You can see he's got a lead blocker. You can see the defense is responding this direction. You can see he's got the ball, right? All of this is right in front of your face. So as a filmer, there's no question as to what's happening on this, right? And you've probably seen this play practiced 1,000 times at this point. And because of that, you don't need to show the two referees and the sky cam behind the quarterback. You can just put the quarterback right there on that edge and just leave it at that, right? This safety's tighter on this side, and there's more space back here, and then there's more space back here, and then we're still zooming out, so there's more space back here, and now we're gaining more space in both directions. But top to bottom, they're going sideline to sideline and keeping everybody in the shot. So good. Okay, let's talk about motion before the play. All right, there is motion before the play. Does it change the framing? No. Are they ready for if this guy continues this direction and they're going to throw a pass to him? Yeah, it looks like they're zooming out with him, but that doesn't happen. So they stop and then come back the other direction. Right? A little bit more zooming out than necessary here. And what happens? You see the bear down. You see the first row of the crowd. You see the surface cart and the medical tent and all the stuff along the sidelines. And really, I didn't even see that this play is still going on. That's going up the sidelines, right? I'm getting focused on the fifth, seventh row of the crowd, and let's just focus on here, right? Let's just put the frame here, okay? And as the play goes, let's put the frame, still pretty good. You can zoom out to right about here, right? And then now the ball's away. These two guys back here aren't doing anything. This guy's completely out, right? Both these guys are not, heading that direction. He probably should be because, he's got some ground to cover if he's going to make that tackle, and he's catching up late, right? But you can see that my frame still hasn't changed one bit from where I was at before, right? Right there, right there, right there. Everybody's still in the shot, right? And, is it a big deal? Because there's just a little bit of space, over here. Just a little bit of space over here, a little bit of space here. Not a big deal, right? Well, let's measure it and see how much space we're actually losing by doing that. 20% of your frame, maybe more, okay? 80% on a diagonal, so a significant amount of your frame is lost. Right, and then now you can see where all these guys back here are really not in the play. I want to be up on this, right? Let's get up on it. What if we were here, right? What if we said, these are the guys. This guy is trying to get back in the play at this point, but I could say, like, hey, you were walking before, now you're chasing to catch up. It might have been good if you could have got back over here before that play, because if he cuts back inside, you can actually make the play on that if you were, running through the entire play, right? But I'll leave that to the coaches. But they can see it, right? They can see it for themselves. Perfect framing. Run coming this direction, no reason to zoom out because you're just going to gain more space. Okay, once you recognize the run coming this way, it's all going to condense down this direction very, very quickly, so you don't have to zoom out. You're kind of zooming out for more people up here that don't exist, right? Quarterback's there, he's already out of the play, and you dropped him anyway, right? So you can't really say that was the reason for zooming out if you're going to drop him anyway immediately after that. Right? Less than 70% on a run, which should be just pretty easy, straightforward, right towards you. We shrank them down to less than 70% of the frame. All right. This is a pass. Nope, it's a run on the ground. Recognized it immediately. There you go. Okay. I'm going to say this is a run. Straight ahead. There you go. Okay. Sideline to sideline, top to bottom. Got a guy up here, you got a guy down here. Perfect. I saw the blocks, I saw everything that was taking place there. Okay, top to bottom, still keeping guys in the shot. Looks good. Pass. Run. Oh, they swallowed that up. It looked like he had a straight, tunnel to the end zone, and it did not happen like that at all. All right, are we keeping this guy in the shot? Perfect. Got some space behind the quarterback. Okay. Still got this guy in the shot. Still got the guy at the top corner. Are we to the corner of the end zone? Absolutely. Okay. Recognizing the run, coming over with it. Still keeping this guy in the shot. Okay, these guys are condensing down at this point, and you can too. Awesome. Fourth and 1. Kicking it. Giants said, we don't need a touchdown, we need the points on the board. Okay, still a lot of movement on an extra point or field goal try. From what I've seen, just a lot of extraneous zooming in and out. That doesn't need to happen. Okay. Alright, this kickoff is not as long as the last one or the last punt, so everything condenses down very quick on that as well. Okay. Alright, nice tight frame. Looks really good. Some motion, a little bit of adjustment ahead of time, straight ahead run. Perfect. Perfect framing. Awesome. Perfect setup. Okay. Zooming out on a run towards you as everybody's condensing. It isn't necessary. Alright. Yep, that works. Okay. If you're gonna go sideline to sideline, I'd like to cut out more of the crowd on that side, but since the ball was over that direction, it makes sense to show that. It works. Yep. No play. Great framing. Oh my goodness. Saw the middle linebacker, number 9, jumping around before the play and then just steps up and fills the hole. Ain't nobody running through that hole. Not even me. If I tried, I would probably get tackled as well. So, makes sense. Okay. Fantastic job. Sideline to sideline, top to bottom. Okay. I'm seeing all of this all game long. There's not a single play where I'm sitting there looking and saying, man, I wish I would have seen more, you know. At times I've said I wish I had seen less. But you know, there was one time when the safety stepped off like half of his body earlier in the game, but all along, at every step along the way, this filmer's so dialed in. So much positive action going on here. Okay. Punts away. Always keeping more space behind the punter is never... it's never a great plan. Okay. There's nothing happens back there. And if we're just looking at filming football games from a reasonable perspective, do you have a reason to have it? Okay. If the answer is no, then cut it out. Right? Do we have a reason for keeping this player in the shot? Do we have a reason for showing the referee behind the offense? Nope. Cut him out. Perfect. Okay. While I'm saying that, he's actively cutting out the referee behind the play. All right. Here we go again. Yep. Okay. 2/3. Perfect. Okay. And you saw it, right? There's this extra space back here, and you can see this left to right movement right before the snap, right? To get it back into 2/3 to the defense. So good. So good. All right. And if you're filming from the end zone, we haven't really talked about end zone filming so much on this channel yet, but we will. If you're filming from the end zone, 2/3 to the defense, it makes even more sense, right? Because you're going to see, receivers running routes downfield in the defensive secondary. Okay, 2/3, bam, so good. Right to the edge, pretty close. Okay. This all looks so good. All right. For context, we're 20-10. Bears are down 2 scores here late in the game, and trying to get a touchdown, at least get a field goal out of one of these next 2 drives here, and they've got to keep the ball moving, which they're doing. Okay, 2/3. Looks pretty good. Oh, right through his hands. That's one you would want to get back, right? Scrambling around. Dang, what a great play. To be able to get that pass off. Chaos. That play is going on. Everybody's running around. This filmer was so dialed into the edges on that. Okay. Well, not so much on this one. And let's see what we can do to change that. Right, top to bottom. They've got space because the motion man comes in and vacates. Now we've got a whole lot extra space, and then it's just a matter of, okay, you're not going to necessarily readjust with that motion man right before the snap. So what can we do with that space? Well, if you've got the space, then to zoom out from there isn't going to make a ton of sense. Okay, they're almost to 90% at this point. All right, and how about here? Okay, they are zooming out, so they are gaining space. And then that changes to 80%. Okay, so we went to almost a 90% to 80%, and then the ball's away. So, I mean, really good. That's a very usable bit of footage for that play for the coaches to evaluate. All right, bam. Okay, so at some point I probably would have, once the quarterback just pulls it down, starts running. It's a fast quarterback, right? Once he starts running, start to zoom back in. Once he crosses this, these guys are doing nothing. No reason to keep them in the shot. I'm sorry, they've already done the most useful thing that they can for this play, which is to keep their quarterback on his feet so that he can get down to here. But at this point, all these guys are in play, right? So let's take this frame, right? Which we're even wider than that. But, this would be to keep all 22 guys in this shot would be here. And that's only using 70% of the frame, right? But what if we took this and we just brought it all the way down to like here, right? That's where the action's taking place. You can even keep this guy in the shot. It looks like these two are doing something back here, all right? And even at that, you're less than 70%, okay? Tight. Goal line tight. Straight ahead. Nope. Pulling back to pass. Right? Okay. All right. When you're, on the 2-yard line, there's a high tendency that you're just going to just run the ball straight ahead and just try to get, the fastest way to the end zone is straight ahead, right? Defense knows that. They're going to crowd the box and try to, clog that up and not allow you to do that. They're also going to try to make sure that you're not squeaking out to the edges and do that. And then, the last thing that you have to account for is these guys running routes and the quarterback just pulling it back and throwing it. And they did not account for this guy right here at all, right? Is there some rubbing going on inside? Probably. Nope. They just double covered this outside guy. So there you go, right? Coaches are going to see it. And then you got some space behind the quarterback, and then you got some space to the goalpost, but on the whole, that really looks good, and it's very usable, and the coach is going to be able to see that all day long. All right. Special teams. Set it up. Leave it. Yep, that works. Nice. Okay. Less than 4 minutes to go. 20-17 in this game. They're kicking it deep, pinning the Giants, not allowing a run back, out the back of the end zone. Okay. They're going to get a stop, get the ball back, come down to try to make a, either a field goal to tie it or a touchdown to win it. That's their game plan, and let's see what the Giants do to counter that. Play action. Roll out the other direction. Okay. No reason to zoom out too far on this. They've got a lot of space behind the quarterback. This is nice and tight both directions. Okay. At this point, you can recognize that nobody is expanding beyond this, and you don't have to zoom out any further. Right? By zooming out, you're gaining all this space back here and extra space along the top of the frame. Right? They stop at the top of the chain, which I really like. All right, but right here, to keep that guy in the frame there, they're pretty solid, 90%. The Bears. Film like the Bears. Okay, looks really good. Okay, they're touching their helmets. That's important. for some reason. Because that means they're going to run straight ahead and try to get a first down. They did not get a first down. They got stuffed. Okay. But top to bottom, they zoomed out to keep those guys in the shot. Here we go. 3rd and 7. They're pulling back, and they're getting sacked. The Bears have got to be jacked up about that. Okay? They've got to be ready to come down the field. Okay. To the goal line. Behind the punter. Punter's at the 14-yard line. Okay, what if we put the edge of the frame at like the 13-yard line, right? And allow, which direction is this going? All these guys are going this way. This guy's going this way. The ball's going this way. You know, most cases, except for, you know, when it's not, when it, you know, if it snaps over the punter's head or it gets blocked, right? Those are obviously options, but I'm not expecting that to happen 99% of the time. I'm expecting everything to be going this direction. Let's see what happens. Yep, that direction. Oh, we zoomed out even farther back here, right? 25 yards. And now, you know, what does that do? Again, that space goes somewhere, right? If you gain 25 yards behind the punter, and then it never goes away. It goes somewhere. It ends up somewhere else in your frame. And right now it's, you know, here, across the top. But, you know, I'd say you can cut out the punter completely at this point and start to focus in on these guys. You can, you know, keep these guys in the shot. If the punter's going to do something, does he do anything? It's like a statue. At the 16-yard line, he doesn't even move, right? I'm sorry. At that point, I'm just saying, thank you for your service. That was great punting, and we're just going to move on from now, and that's okay, right? And I'm sure he's fine with that. But let's focus on what the other 21 guys on the field are doing to get off their blocks and go make a tackle, or get a great block that's going to spring the returner for a touchdown. And they didn't quite get the block that was going to spring the returner for a touchdown. What could they have done differently to get a great block to spring the returner for a touchdown? Because wouldn't that be spectacular right now for the Bears to be able to do that? Yes. I'm going to give you the answer, and it's yes. Okay. Wouldn't it be great to see the punter standing at the 16-yard line like a statue and not moving one bit during the entire play? I'm going to give you the answer, and it's absolutely not. Not even a little bit. I don't want to see it. I want to see the block that's going to spring the returner for the game-winning touchdown. The game winner. But, you know, if you got a quarterback like this, it doesn't really matter anyway, right? Because he's just going to run to the end zone. So, all right, what can we do to tighten this up? Not much. You got some space behind the quarterback. You're top to bottom. You know, you're about to the top of the chains here. There's guys along the bottom. You can definitely tighten this up, obviously, right? And do you want to see it? I want to see it. I want to see tighter. And apparently the entire stadium is shaking at this point, because that is exactly what I was just talking about, right? What can we do to see more of that and less of the referee behind 10 yards behind the offense? All right. Awesome. Pretty hype. Okay. The Bears just went up 24-20 on the Giants with 1:47 to go. And guess what? We got a game to close out. The snow is gone. Okay. The kicker is burying the returners deep at this point. Okay. We got less than 2 minutes on the clock. The Bears defense is bearing down at this point. And we got a single back. He's not getting the ball. We're throwing it. Okay. Throwing it away to get away from this nasty defense that's coming right down the middle at him. Right? Is he getting the ball? No, it's a pass again. Okay. 2-minute drill. He's scrambling around, getting the first down. Let's go. Love it. Okay. Sideline to sideline, they zoomed out to be able to see everybody in the shot. They didn't go any further than that. That makes a ton of sense. Are they going to run it? No, they're passing because it's the 2-minute drill, right? Have you ever seen a 2-minute drill run? Very little running, if any, right? Very, very likely it's going to be a pass, 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 pass. Pass. Okay. Still have that space behind the quarterback. Can still cut it down. Fourth and 10. This is big. Okay, this is the game. 43 seconds to go. Okay, bringing in extra protection for the quarterback didn't help one bit because, again, your Bears defense is going to be the Bears defense. Okay, guess what? Victory. Bam. Bears! Let's go. Okay. So that is the game, 24-20. Did you watch that Bears offense, defense come together at the end of this game to close it out down 10 with 5 minutes to go in the game, and they turned it around and made it a 24-20 victory, okay? If you're going to do that, you're going to do it because you've made the right adjustments and improvements all throughout the season up until this point, and that only happens when you have a filmer who is showing you exactly what's happening on the field, and you're making the correct adjustments based off of that. And this filmer, in my opinion, gets the MVP of this game because I can see that if they've been doing this the entire season, this offense is getting better, and this defense is getting better. Play after play after play, day after day after day, game after game, they're going to be making improvements because they can see what they're doing on the field, and they're going to be making those adjustments accordingly. I say the MVP is the filmer, but, that's just me. Of course, I'm going to say that when the filmer's doing excellent work, they are my MVP every step along the way. 165 plays, 160 of them were positive. 97% of the time, they're filming very, very well. 62% of the time, they are filming excellent, and keeping guys within very close margins along the edge. So that total puts you at 103.15% over the 100% mark, which is awesome. The bonus being, how close are you staying on those edges and preserving that detail every step along the way. And I'm honored to have had a chance to see this filmer. I had the honor of sitting down with Mitch Friedman, who was one of the original Bears filmers, if not the original Bears filmer, running the film back in the day when it was actual film, and was one of the spearheads for moving to video at some point in the NFL. And he said he was very impressed with the film that was coming out of the Bears, filmer this past season, and that I should take a look. And he did not disappoint one bit. This was fantastic. Looking forward to 2026. This is a great place to start. Always room for improvement. Evaluating what you did yesterday and improving for tomorrow. Until then, this is Cameraman Grades.